Hey, passionaire out there. We love to have you here with us. Today, we're going to watch video together. And as part of our Thursday night, we love to do live passionaire. So we can keep contacting us if you want. We will schedule in if anybody available. At the same time, we have a new format. This format is very simple. We're going to watch video, mostly focusing on relationship together. And our lovely coaching team are on deck. And we'll get comment. And if you are on YouTube, you can put your comment down there below as well. So, but what we're going to do is not just analyze it. We want to really watch it together, in a family room, living room. And to me, this is the best part is we are building a community. We always say this, we practice vulnerability. It doesn't mean just to be vulnerable, right? But all this reality TV show people are practice vulnerability on the show. I would never do that myself, but hey, but so they have I don't think they have a script, but they might have. But in any case, we love to see their reaction, their conversation, and I hope we're coming that, watch this together would provide not just entertainment. I hope we are here to create an environment where really just like PQ, passion quotient, it's not like high or low, good or bad. It's about know how much you love this kind of stuff, and what the passion has been driving you. We can have a clarity with a very neutral language, so we can really pinpoint what's been driving you and me. So today, it's a couple. I want to thank Coach Joyce who really keep pulling these wonderful clips, and I love it. So we'll watch, we'll stop, and I want Coach to get involved as well. And the first of all is I want you to know like what passion is talking. What quadrant, we call it quadrant, or set of passion come together. Could be dream, could be belief, could be doer, could be connector. So I have no idea, so I want you to come in, just give us comments. And today's couple, I watched a couple of video clip. I believe they're no longer together. Correct? Okay. Coach Joyce said they're no longer together. So this is a video really from Married at First Sight. And so the background is this couple just somehow get handpicked by experts before they even meet each other. So they get together on the show, have a couple of days to decide if they want to get married. If they do, they get married, and then they just go through the reality TV show mode. So you may say some of them are not acting. I don't think so. I think it's very real. But I want you to know this is what happened. So today, this couple, I'll play a couple of video clip, and I want you to just take a look and see what passions are being played. Let's go. Ready.
I've always wanted to build a giant treehouse, like a treehouse that connects to another treehouse. I want to do at least a backpacking trip somewhere, whether it's through the Andes and seeing Machu Picchu or going through Asia or Europe. I want to skydive over the tropics and compose a Christmas song, straight up.
All right. Oh, we see that conversation. That's interesting. we have, let me back. So what do you guys think? I mean, it's being played right here. The guy, the husband, and the wife. What do you guys think? I mean, what's being played right now? I mean, do you see any tug and pull thing? We always talk about passion stuff. Anybody want to get a? Okay, no, hold on. So to me, this is very interesting conversation. I mean, Coach Henry, what do you think? What do you see is being played right now?
I see high adventurous and high expedience.
So for
all over the place.
Okay, that's basically for the husband, right?
Yeah. And well, he's the only one who's talked so far. All we can gather from the wife is body language, and she's not buying it.
She's not buying it,
No. I
Okay.
think that her experience is on the opposite end of the spectrum, and she doesn't think out of the box at all.
Okay, so I hear you say this guy, the husband has a very high experience. That means ready to travel, right?
Yeah, and the adventurous. He's, between those two,
Yeah, and
he wants to
loved.
skydive in the tropics. He doesn't want to just go like around the corner and skydive somewhere. He wants to skydive over the equator or something.
Okay, so adventures, got it. What else do you hear from this guy? Like the conversation started like. I don't think he's getting anywhere with his wife, but that's okay. That's too passion got shut down right away, right?
I see him in the dreamer quadrant.
Oh yeah, he's a dreamer. That's where you sit right now, dreamer quadrant. So he's a dreamer. He's trying to talk about his dream, right? Any
Right.
other coaches? Any comment? Like any other passion pop up on this guy who just talked? I agree. Uh, Probably low tranquility adventures. Yeah. So we'll continue watch a little bit just to see how it goes with the response, right? As an answer from wife.
Compose a Christmas song, straight up. I'm not saying I'm not willing to compromise about my dreams, but I could never imagine myself living a life where I gave up on my dreams. And at least for me, going into any marriage, the person I want to be with shouldn't shut it down without even exploring it.
Derek?
Okay, what do you guys think about his body language? Yeah. Switch. Okay, we are okay. Here we go. So, what do you think about the body language right now? I mean, look at the wife after the talking. So,
I would say she looks very annoyed with him.
so what's driving that? Because look at the facial expression. It's like bizarre. I mean, like the bizarre creature is talking. I'm sick and tired of you, right? You see that facial expression. So what's the passion being played right here? Yeah.
It could be vengeance,
Okay. Let me
but it's hard to say. I
Okay.
think it could be vengeance.
Okay.
It could be maybe practical, like low curiosity. She can't follow along with what he's saying.
Okay. That's a key point. I gotta get Joyce in here. Sorry, Joyce, keep talking. Now I get you back.
Maybe
Low
higher.
curiosity. That
Yeah, low curiosity.
he just lost her and continued talking, right?
Or maybe higher tranquility.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Higher tranquility. So
Because he said, how did he word it? He doesn't want to marry to someone that blah 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 blah, and they're already married. So I could see that it could make the tranquility go high, and then she gets annoyed. She's like, ugh.
look at to me is like wow. I mean they just talk on two different frequency. I would say, right? So I think this is a typical. Let me switch camera. You can see it's absolutely something called dreamer. The husband is a dreamer, adventurous, right? Probably love to jump out of the box to do stuff, right? But you can see why I have not made up my mind yet. But I think she definitely belongs to the doer, which is this corner. Is like, hey, let's be safe. Let's do something together. Let's do it step by step. You have lost me right here. So this one's definitely the dreamer versus doer thing. At this point, I would say that. But is there any chance if your partner, boy and girlfriend, is a dreamer and you are a doer, or vice versa? Is there any chance this can really get together? That's today's topic. Like, is there a chance if you marry a dreamer, but you are a doer, or vice versa? So I think that's what the key I would love to explore today with you guys. All right, so let me continue watching a little bit, and I want you guys to know a little bit. It's like, wow, it happened almost on a daily basis, kind of conversation. Let's just go there. All right, here we go.
Eric being such a dreamer worries me a little bit because I want a man. Like, I don't want a little boy who's dreaming of writing Christmas songs.
I know that's a lot. I want to work through this. I want to understand where you also come from a bit more.
I don't even know. What I'm trying to get at is, do you want a family and a marriage, or do you want to fulfill all of these dreams?
No,
Which
because
one
I've
is more
talked
important
about
to you?
the one most important thing to me is, first of all, finding true love. Second of all, having a family, raising kids. But life isn't limited to just that.
But
Okay, now we have a conversation, right? After the body language first from the wife's side, which this one happens so often, and the body language says all, but that's a real communication is taking place right there, even though there's no word drop from the wife's side. She's communicating, right? So, and I admire this husband's courage, continue talking. Usually that will shut the high acceptance people down, but I think he's definitely the dreamer. All right, so at this point, any comment from coaches? I mean, we'll come back and see if this could be done differently. At this point, I think the fight is coming. Argument is going to come. All right? Can you tell that it's a volcano being kind of cooked up and like ready to explode? So, and you can see this coming. And this guy didn't see that. I admire his courage. So
the quote, "Fools rush in where angels fear to tread," comes to mind with him continuing to talk.
Continue. Yeah, well,
he's on thin ice already.
right. Any guys there ever been there? You know it's coming. You know. I can't change my view. Let me see. You have to get rid of. You have to unpin me. Probably remove spotlight. Yeah. So at this point we know something going to take place, right? So this is a good start. We'll come back. I want you guys to provide your version, how you will handle this. You can play husband, you play wife. What could you do differently? You can give me options. Walk out, say it differently, whatever that is. Let's continue watch. Yeah.
you have so many dreams that you're like up in the clouds, and I need you to just like at least come down and meet me halfway.
I get that, and I am trying to. All I'm asking you is not say no before it even happens.
When have I done that, though? I have never not been supportive of anything. Even the things that I hate, Derek, like even the things that I think are so stupid, like you wanting to write a Christmas song, I have never once not been supportive of that.
That's not necessarily true. Like, for instance, when I said, like, maybe I can write a book while we have kids, you're like, well, good luck with that, because we're gonna have kids.
I said it'll be hard, which is 100% true. If you want to write a book and have kids and work a full-time job, it will be hard.
I'm not asking you to help me with my dreams. I'm only asking you not to close the door on all of them before we even have a chance.
But I'm saying don't bite off more than you can chew, because that's going to be a problem for our whole family if you do that.
All right. Now, that's the first part of the fight. All right. So that's still they are trying to communicate. Any comment here, folks? I mean, is that clear? Joy's comment, she wants to kill him. I think at this point, vengeance is definitely her very, very, I have no idea. It could be vengeance. I don't know. You guys can give me a different opinion. I just feel like this girl, this wife is like from the very beginning until now, she looked very mad at, I don't know who. She looked uncomfortable, and she I think she's angry at somebody, right? Can you feel that? Somehow, right? Anybody else? I really feel her tranquility is high, and her point right on for family, kids, but the tone gives us something. She wants stability. She doesn't want anything out of control, right? So something like stability is like her number one top on everything else, right? So tranquility is also high. Any other comments? Now you see the conversation a little bit more. What's coming now?
I think you have it right. I think it's vengeance, and I think she's using vengeance to control the situation so that her tranquility isn't touched.
Yeah. So exactly. So the vengeance, high vengeance people sometimes use the vengeance, anger. Maybe it's too much to say it's control, but to be a shield, to be a facade, so that it'll protect that vulnerability. Like, I need tranquility. I don't have tranquility right now. I need a safe family. There's something behind my neck, like nagging me. I have to be safe. I have to be safe. I have to watch our family. So, but for this one to come out, sometimes it's just you can see her eyes. She shut down eye contact. Do you see that? And if really high vengeance people, they want to have eye contact. They will tell you this is wrong. But she keeps shutting down the eye contact. I believe that's a sign of tranquility. Like she needs somehow from her bring up to have a stable family outweigh everything else. There's nothing else can replace it. So you can see, like, interesting enough, the vengeance may come out strong, but by her body language, I would say she is like struggling between these two. Okay. She tried to find a balance. Yeah. Anybody, you've been there, done that? Any question? Go ahead, coaches. Joyce, have any comments?
I always have comments. I'll add myself to this.
Oops. We are still trying our new format, but we'll see.
Well, I'll just keep talking. I'll just remove all the spotlights for now.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, if looks could kill,
Look at that. Yeah.
She looks really, really frustrated. I think I almost get the impression that when he's talking, he's just talking about his dreams, but I feel like she's hearing all his dreams mean right now or tomorrow, and that's why she's getting so frustrated. And it's almost like she just seems like in hearing like all the dreams, she doesn't feel like she's included. I'm not really sure what passion that is, but it's almost like she feels maybe not reassured by him or something, because he's maybe in her head he's talking about himself and his dreams, and she doesn't hear herself in the picture. Right. And she's kind of like, well, how can I trust you for the future if you're just up here? You're in the clouds. I don't even know how to fly.
That's exactly right. The dreamers in their conversation, they don't have the concept of time, because they are like eagles. They fly up high, so they see 5,000 feet ahead of us. They see future. They see tomorrow. They talk excitingly about it. Forget to tell you, I'm up here. I see 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. So a lot of time they just don't reference time. They forget about it. Dreamers, I'm hearing you. I know, like, when you talk, it doesn't mean now. But if you look at the wife today, she's definitely the doer. She said, I'm on the ground. I can see it. What are you talking about? Tell me the time references. So you can see this is future, dream, and this is now. And they never clarify that one. Okay, they try to after this. I would say that very interesting setup, right? The whole staging up. Now they don't hear each other. Now he tries to explain, no, I will get family, kids first. She didn't believe him because this conversation is going nowhere. So dreamer and doers, clarify time scale or time frame, please. That would be a big help to say, hey, honey, I talk about 10 years from now, but now I just need this much time to do this dreamer stuff. But I have 85% to accomplish what we come together, right? That should be there as a, staging up the whole thing. But the wife just take it like, hey, me now. He's going to abandon me. the tranquility kicking, like, whoa, he may look just like my uncle, you know, he may look like just my dad, you know, who abandoned us, so stuff like that. You can see it's our inner talk. So let me go back to this. So
she's also putting him down because she's like, even the things I hate, it's so stupid for you that you want to write a Christmas song. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, she's also putting him down. I don't think that helps the situation because, well, I'm not fully administrator quadrant, though I have some A. I also have, the dreamer quadrant, but I just, like, I wouldn't shut someone's dream down.
Okay, Joyce, thank you. So you say, like, not good idea to shut the guy's dream down, right? Almost like there, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey. All right. So this is interesting. I want you guys to do improvising, like what could be done differently. But before we go there, let's just watch a little bit more so that I see how this is being unfold. Do you know what's going to happen? What do you guys think? What's going to happen? It's a dreamer versus doer, right? This is a typical classic case. All right. All right. So let's continue watching and see what happened.
I don't know where all this is coming from. I felt like everything was going great from the 1 month, and we were finally past all the fighting.
But now it seems like he's trying to find things that are wrong with this marriage.
I'm not trying to make a big issue of it. I'm only
But
trying
it
to
is a
address
big issue because you're basically saying that I'm not supporting you.
What I am saying,
Because these are things that I really don't like.
all I'm asking of you is to not be narrow-minded or just close the whole idea of me doing a couple things. What's wrong with having dreams?
You have so many.
What?
So many that I can't even keep track. Don't be mad at me because I'm telling you what you don't want to hear, which is that it's not realistic to have that many dreams. Like, they're not realistic.
I'm not talking these things like smoke out of my ass. I'm well aware of how much work goes into these things. Will I achieve it? I have no idea. But is there anything wrong with trying? I think not.
I feel like your dreams to you are more than this marriage.
All right, folks, this is a point. Before this is become name calling, right? The gloves are off. You are the dream killer, and you are the irresponsible husband. So you started name calling. They didn't say that, but the tone, all that conversation. You kill my dream. You are narrow-minded, right? Stuff like that. So this is where 85% of relationship, end up in this pattern. This is a part that will repeat almost on a daily basis. Okay, and you can see how they start to build up. They are newlywed, like a month old. So in terms of relationship. So, and then after this, I want you to see how they fight. They finish the fight. Are you ready? Okay. So.
And you clearly don't have any idea what you want. So I'm done having this conversation. Let me know when you figure out what you do want.
I'm really frustrated when Katie tells me that a lot of my dreams are unrealistic.
I have every intention of achieving every single one of them.
Granted, it'll take some time for some of them, and some of them are definitely gonna be tough. But I'm resolved to do that, and I know I can. And the fact that she doesn't think that I'm capable of achieving them really stung. Katie, I want to make this work, and I am trying to do what I can to express everything that's going through my head.
You continue to get so defensive anytime anything that you have to work on or you have to change comes into play. Like, do you want to be on your own and have all of your dreams, or do you want this marriage with me?
I don't want a marriage with you if I don't get any dreams. I want to have a marriage with you where I can at least do some of my dreams. Because you're supposed to be a part of my dreams. If that's not good enough, I don't know what I can do.
Derek, you continue to say you want to make this work, but you have to, like the actions have to be there. Like, be a grown-up.
Would you like to keep talking or no?
No.
Fine. Take as long as you need. Or not.
All right. So, well, all right. So that's how it ends. If I analyze it, I would say this: most of the cases when dreamer and doer fight, usually dreamer duck out the room first. This is very, very unusual that the doer duck out the room first. It's very interesting. That means either representing she has been a dreamer and gets squashed. I don't know, but she just couldn't take. Usually, dreamer would fly away, right? I mean, because it's like, and I don't know, maybe the other way around. So, but it end up, she just walk out of the room to avoid confrontation. That the more she's doing that, I feel the tranquility is definitely high. So she doesn't want to be the peacemaker anymore. She have to walk out, right? So very interesting. So all right. So any comment at this point? Because I want to replay a little bit, not the way we want to, but anything could be done differently. Like let's go back to let's go back to this point. All right. So let's before it's all staging out, right? This point. The guy, husband talking about his dream. She's like holding herself like, I'm listening, but the facial. So anything at this point could be done differently, folks. What is the best way to
it seems
yeah, go ahead.
It seems like she has very little curiosity and willingness to actually ask about like, okay, what are, like, it just seems like it stops at here are my dreams, and he says he's going to do them. He doesn't give a plan, but if she really wanted to know, she could ask. And it seems like she jumps into
conclusion
practical without even understanding. I mean, it's a basic listening thing. She's not really listening to him.
Wow.
Or understanding the why or even his how. She's just kind of immediately saying like, you don't have any like initial steps right now. And so she kind of dismissed it. But I feel like just communication wise, there's not a lot of desire to understand where each other are coming from.
Oh, that's very good, Coach Andy. And she jumped into the conclusion right away. Practical. Is that practical? Is that practical? You see the inner talk? You see the inner talk inside her like, hey, is that practical? I think she got that from I don't think she was born with that. I think she was taught, she was put into the environment and learn. So like you can see her face is like, facial expression is like, is that practical? Is that practical? Too many. You can see that going. Okay. So what could be done differently at this stage? Because if we don't do it differently at this stage, what's coming will be kind of defaulted, like, right? So what could be done at this point differently? So from, say, anybody will speak for a husband,
Well, for somebody who, like her, who is in the doer quadrant, you have to answer the how question. So either she should ask, how do you think you're going to do even one of these dreams? Or he could say, let me explain how I intend to go about this, so you'll know that I'm not going to be taking too much time away from the family, which seems to be her main concern, because she's given him an ultimatum. It's either this or that. You can't have some of each.
Okay, that's very good. So any dreamer guy out there, or what? If husband on this side, dreamer husband, do something different at this point? What do you guys think?
Well, I go back and forth between those two quadrants. So my solution would be, let's take one of these. Let's take the skydiving. How about if we find a tropical place where you would like to go on vacation? We'll plan a vacation there, and while we're there, I'll do a skydive.
provide a practical solution. Okay.
She gets to go to Hawaii. He gets to go skydiving, let's say. Nothing hard about that. It doesn't take much time. She has to give him up for an afternoon, maybe.
Okay. So just quickly come down from the dreamer side. Hey, say doer side. How can we do it together? With yeah, that's pretty good. Anybody? No, this is a point that the conversation need to really. Any suggestion for the husband? Do it differently.
I think for him, he was also hearing her responses. I think he reacted in defense of his own dreams, but maybe a way he could have almost like responded to her was, tap into his higher curiosity and ask why she's getting so upset and ask why she's reacting the way she is and be like, hey, like, just try to, almost like similar to what Andy was saying, get some understanding of her, because the girl's reaction was out of 1,000 in my opinion.
Yeah. No, yeah, I was gonna say something similar. Like it seems like what she's trying to do, it's not even so much about the dreams itself. It's more like she's just like trying to invalidate him and his leadership. And that makes me think that it's like not so much about like even the content of what he's doing. She's just like using that as some sort of a prod. And so I don't know, it'd almost be like, yeah.
What could a dream guy like this husband do differently? What can he do right now? Like what could be done? Like practically, Henry provides something. Ben, what do you think? What curiosity? Just find out why she is so mad, or what could be done differently? This is really interesting. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I would change the subject like really completely and like talk, which maybe isn't really getting to like how my dreams, but like just talk about something that like is going or doing something together, or something that is not like possessive of like his, because I don't know if that's good.
Yes. No, so okay, we got one vote on changing subject. Like, hey, what do you think about we have a dog together first? Right? Okay, yeah, okay. That's very good. So it's very interesting that the husband didn't notice the wife is so. It's like he has lost her halfway through the conversation, talk about his dreams. Yeah, I don't think I have to replay it. But he didn't notice. Is that interesting?
Because he was so focused on his dreams. He had no time to focus on his wife. And maybe that's why she got so upset. Because, I mean, from the beginning of this, there was a conversation they had during dinner. But we only see 2 conversations now. There could have been other conversations beforehand where it could have led up to this for her blowing up the way she did.
Yeah, so this is a tough one. I think, I think he lost her by talking without how should I say, without a proper amount of like some kind of interactive feedback. And dreamers, we make all these mistakes, right? I mean, we want listener. We don't want people to, but I know when people get excited talking about their dream, this one happened. You see that, but on the other hand, that's where damage is most, is when a dreamer is talking like this and you shut him or her down. That causes a lot of damage permanently. Seriously, like you shoot the ego down, right? So, but okay. So, anybody want to give us something like if you would be the husband, how can you talk about your dream? What would be the tones? And give us something. All right, Joyce, if play the high dreamer, try to just reach out to the doer down there, like ego versus ox, right? It's like, you're down there. What could you tell? What could you do to kind of really get into a conversation?
Um, I think it's important for any doer or like to help a person, like for us to meet halfway. It would be like, okay, like these are my ideas, this is what we want, like I really want to do for the future, yada yada yada. But that's not until like 10, 15, 20 years down the line. We just got married. So obviously working on this marriage and our future family is more important. Maybe that's more of a reassuring the other person, but I think it brings the doer, it makes the doer seem, I guess it can bring their tranquility down a bit, because for a doer, they're thinking about the practical. So a dreamer saying, hey, I'm gonna go down your level, these things aren't now, like our family is now, I think can give a doer a lot of comfort if they can't follow along.
That's very good. So that's one thing we can do is, instead of doing dreamer and doer, me versus you, we can quickly find in the connector quadrant, right?
Yeah, they both said they wanted a family.
Right.
So it's kind of like they're arguing about whatever they think the future holds, but I think they should have been doing is just talk about, I think a good way to meet halfway is talk about the dreams they have for their kids and their own family. And I think that can make it a lot better. I mean, he said he wanted to write a Christmas song. You can write a Christmas song with your kids.
Exactly.
You can include the family.
So,
you know?
Yeah, hidden in the conversation, they both want to have family together and kids. I heard that over and over again, right? And I saw other episodes. Actually, this guy grew up in a very like families all around and loving family. So both of them, I don't know about the girl, but both love family and kids. So if they could have family is a different quadrant, by the way. They can give up their quadrant for a second. And hey, what can we do? I bring dream, you bring do, and I can help you do, I can help you dream. And let's bring that to kids, for example, family passion. That will be a very different conversation. That's at least they have some common ground to bring this seemingly, opposing quadrant or passions. But they keep talking on vengeance, and then next, adventures, and the next one, they counter each other like from two different quadrants. So that happens. So it would be nice at this point. Okay, let me go back here. At this point, don't talk about curiosity, adventures, or this kind of stuff. If the guy, I don't know, could come back and say, hey, let's bring this to family stuff. Let's talk about family. That could be the conversation. And this probably can be very, very different conversation, by the way, right? So I want you guys to know how this could be different, to find something at least we have in common, passion-wise. All right, so I really feel at this point, the guy should scale back and say, wow, maybe you don't feel you are included and our future kids included. No. What I mean is, I'm writing a Christmas song that kids can be part of it. We can play a family, music thing. And what do you think? You play guitar. Let's do this together, right? So you can start to see that how we can really bring. So jump to another quadrant where you have common ground would be very crucial. Do you have that with your spouse, your partner, your husband, wife? And do you have a quadrant where you two don't conflict directly, but you're able to talk on one single thing? And like this one, I can see this. And both love family. That's what hurts most. After this conversation, both feel each other like, you hate family. You don't like my family. You don't want to build a family. See, that's not the case. That's not the case here. All right. So, okay, very good.
Yeah, because she said, I feel like your dreams are more... what did she say? I feel like you put your dreams, whatever, before,
above the family,
above
our kids,
and I think,
right?
he could have just immediately cut her off and be like, no, let me clarify. That's not what I mean. I do care about our family. I do care about you. And kind of like, almost like, kill the lie immediately before it escalated even more. I also think she needed to stop drinking wine, but that's
maybe that's the case. All right.
I mean,
right, and you can see this conversation. There's a missing quadrant, which is a belief quadrant. Okay, right here. So when we say in a conversation, there need to be a driver. Okay, it doesn't mean every husband always has to be a driver, but this is where the conversation need a little bit of adults in the conversation. Like, you got to stop. Don't escalate it, because it got very, very bad. Toward the end, it's shut down the whole thing. One is crying, one is like feel left out, and to pick up the conversation again, it's difficult. It's very difficult because this is shut down conversation now. So at what point? Well, it's difficult, but let me go. I mean, it can go very quickly. I hope YouTube won't stop me, but hey, and. So they start really have some argument, right? Look at the body language. This is confrontational right now. So, and she's fighting back. You see that she's fighting back, and he's got really, really like shock and awe. Like, no, this is not the girl I married. You see that?
he looks like a deer in a headlight.
I know, deer in the headlight, right? So, okay, now. What could the guy do so the girl won't walk out? No, when I say that, it's not his sole responsibility, but is there any hint and anything could be done differently that I mean, you can say it's all her fault. She walked out of the room, but by other episodes, she does work out all the time, by the way, okay? So it's a pattern, all right? So if you have a spouse always walk out from confrontation and fight, what do? Do you? Yeah. See, she walk out. Okay. So this is okay. But if it's happened all the time, and this is tough. This is where the communication shut down. And in a marriage, when this kind of patterns start to become a norm or it happen often, it's worse than people fight or just stay in the same room, actually verbally fight. All right. This is one, when you shut down communication like this is one of the very detrimental thing for the relationship. So it's no fault, or it's not her fault. Maybe that's how her parents fight. But this is where things get really, really like when the communication shut down like that. That's only teenagers do that. Be honest, like teenagers shut the door behind. And so what could be done differently? So this could be. I mean, she closed the door, shut the door, and she's out there begging or talking. So, okay, let me come to this point. Like,
I think he shouldn't have talked to her through the door.
Okay, so
after, like, she shut the door and he was talking to her through the door, and then he was like, "Do you want to keep talking?" And she said no, and he said okay. I think thought that he should knock the door down. Because that would probably blow it up even more, but like.
All right, so this is a very good point, folks. This one happened a lot. Like when this happened, should the guy knock on the door, not barge into it, but like what could be done here differently? Like your own way. It's no right or wrong, folks. I'm just saying like, what could be different?
Well, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, hey, like. I want to talk without us, blowing up. Can you come out and let us? I just want to hear you. I'm not going to cut you off. I'm not going to get defensive. But we need to talk and like kind of like resolve this.
So at this point, what should be? I mean, any suggestion? This is like, okay, she shut the door. She's crying. And the husband stood there and tried to communicate, but got frustrated.
It's hard to know without knowing the rest of her passions, whether she has a need for time alone in a situation like this before she can cool down. But that may be the case. I mean, somebody who walks out and gets by themselves for a while may just be trying to cool down so they can come back and talk rationally. And that's the least, you know, the worst thing you can do is just go chasing after them if that's where they're at. But without knowing her pattern, you know, that may not be realistic.
Okay, so Coach Henry's not sure. All right, so
Yeah, I mean, if a person, sometimes I need just like 10 minutes. He should just say how much time you need and we'll talk after that. Not just leave it like open in the air, like, hey, I'm gonna leave you alone for 20 minutes, but after that 20 minutes, we need to talk. I don't want us to go to bed angry with each other, we're not gonna go to bed with this thing up in the air. You know?
yeah, that's a very good thing. Again, let me come back to this point. Dreamer and doer, they are living on a very different timeline.
Yeah, they're on different,
right.
They're on different frequencies and they're just missing each other.
Right. So this is something for a married couple, it would be good to establish a agreement in a way that how we end the fight. Okay. And that's something to be talked about, hopefully with a coach or somebody else, that how to end the fight. This is not a way to end the fight. And if she needs space, you should be in the sort of understanding like she needs a space of how long. Okay, like usually an hour. Okay, it shouldn't be figured out through years of confrontation, and then the husband figure out she will never come out. So I go home. Right? I don't have a home to go to. So this will be kind of talk about and establish a try and error, but yeah, this will end in 10 minutes, right? I need that 10 minutes of independence. That's beautiful. That's cool, right? So he doesn't even have to be frustrated. Just give her 10 minutes and then come back, right? And so does she or he need an hour? Okay, let's talk about it. Maybe a year, that's too much, right? So you see, no, there are couples that they don't talk for years because of this pattern start to getting so bad. Yeah, a year they don't talk. They live in the same roof and don't talk. So, but shutdown communication is something should be respected, but managed. Make sense? Is managed by how independent each other need to be or interdependent. So what would be the norm for both to know that's enough. That's what we have a space right now. Right. So that's very, very important. So and the husband is probably not a high power, and some of the high power husband could just knock on the door, open up, I don't care. That's actually is more threatening and frightening sometimes. So and sometimes the person in the room actually wants somebody to come in. It's very interesting. They shut the door actually to tell you opposite. Okay, I want somebody to come in. So, but don't have a guessing game in marriage like this. Like, don't guess. Let's talk about it. Let's see. Let's set up a couple of fight like this and see. Like, and the wife had to be vulnerable. Say, actually, last time when I shut down the door, I wish you are in here in 5 minutes. You see that? So they need to. This is called vulnerability. Practice be vulnerable, ability to be vulnerable. So you have to step out, take a courage, even being heard, but say something you want. So this is definitely both of them. Can I be honest with you? Both of them are very soft power, two soft power people. So they are not communicating right on the spot, like how this need to be figured out actually right before all this happened. Somebody had to stop the conversation from the leadership quadrant and say, hey, we are not getting where we want. Okay, we all love family. Let's stop the talk. Let's start from scratch. Let's take a walk outside. Somebody had to take a leadership quadrant and say, let's stop this. Or more important, not just right now. after all this, tomorrow when wake up, everybody, let's talk about this. And so someone have to take a leadership to get that 1 month old marriage into shape. Like, this is how we fight. This is how we fight my battle. That's how we fight. How many minutes? Like, let's talk about this practical stuff. This one should be figured out. Shouldn't be a guessing game for 10 years and finally we figure out. That's just in the marriage we don't have that kind of bandwidth. So I would recommend like how to end a fight. Of course, if you're a Christian, we talk about biblical principle. Tonight, like before we go to bed, let's reconcile. But that's not easy. So a lawyer just asked me like, oh, what about you will fight before we go to bed? We have only 10 minutes. I'm kidding. So, and yes. Yeah. So, Joyce, if you're gonna read, I know because this thing keep popping up, so I can't read.
I just said, I was just like, wait, why would someone close the door but actually want the person to come in? That
Absolutely. That's usually happens.
Yeah, then I said that's really a high acceptance thing. And how much do you really care about me? Would you be willing to come after me?
So you will be shocked, which is like very odd for a lot of low accepting people. Here, the high accepting people will be crying in a room.
That seems crazy.
Secretly hoping,
No, I wouldn't say it's crazy. I would say it seems a bit manipulative to me.
Well, please, high accepted people, speak out right now. Otherwise, you.
No, I'm not trying to like. I'm not trying to. It just putting myself in that situation. That doesn't seem like. How is that an effective way of non-communication? It's almost really hurtful.
It probably only works if the person coming in says, "I'm sorry."
Well, no, this is really, so I don't know about the girl's acceptance, but high accepted people, they will shut the door and inside crying, secretly hoping you actually coming and comfort her or him. No, I'm serious. So you can see a lot of high accepting teenagers shut the door. Yeah, they don't want you to come in, but oftentimes they actually need you there to hear some story. So it's what high acceptance people do. High acceptance people with sensitivity just keep them. They need a barrier physically sometimes to calm down. So I recommend number 1, dreamer and doer. Please clarify your timeline when you talk. Okay, and myself, I'm a dreamer. My wife, Xiaowei, is both probably mostly doer. And now I learned that lesson. I always clarify, hey, what I talk about next 5 minutes, it will be probably next 10 years, right? So then she will be at ease. Okay, let him talk. Okay, so and also please clarify, doer, about your urgency, about you need room. That's okay. You need to figure out today, fine. But let's just clarify how urgent that is. What should be done today to make you feel more, I'm on the doer side. Let's do this together. So those are the very, very crucial stuff. And the final thing is, hey, shutdown communication should be respected because sometimes necessary, a buffer need to be there. But please, don't let this to be a guessing game or like years to figure out each other. Let's be able to look at fights every time, sit down, and figure out a way to end it the way we still on the same page communicating, right? So, and that's very crucial. And my wife and I, we have some agreement early on in our marriage that when we are really angry, don't drive. So don't put the other person in that kind of risk losing you because you are angry driving. We talk about that, give each other room for about an hour, 2 hours, and then we'll try to not reconcile, but just try to just come together in a common place somewhere and let conversation start. So that need to be figured out, talk about beginning of the relationship. That's very crucial, all right? And we have to teach our kids too. They can have a, acceptance time, but, still, we still have to have a common place that we all come together. All right, so hey, I really wish this could be done differently, but you know what? As long as we are able to, and let's just sit down and look at through this, manage our own passion that's so contrary to the other, and hopefully jump into another quadrant where we have something in common, and try to just manage that conversation so we can start from there. And then we can come back to our uniqueness. Like, I'm a dreamer, I'm a doer. And how can we do this together for family, for example? That will usually help at least the conversation have a chance to go somewhere. All right. So if you are a dreamer, you are a doer. And if you are both dreamer and doer, yeah, we have people like that, like Coach Henry and Coach Joyce. They are lucky ones, but they have a lot of internal conflict, to deal with that. So, okay. Yeah, so maybe the wife is a connect. Yeah, this quadrant. So she want a connection where he already lost her. So this is definitely I wouldn't say the good fight, but they try. Okay, very hard. So hopefully we'll do this every week. We'll get a video clip. And if you are here on Thursday night, subscribe to us. And if you like this, introduce to your loved ones or people around you. You guys could have totally different opinion. All right, there's nothing right or wrong here. This is something, hey, we watch together. All right, Passionaire, hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.